The U.S. and Israel have launched strikes and a major military operation targeting Iran. U.S. officials have told NBC News that these strikes are significant and could last several days. The U.S. is calling the operation, quote, epic fury. Footage of Tehran's skyline showing plumes of smoke rising in the air on your screen right now. Officials tell NBC News that the U.S. is attacking from air and sea, and that includes with a large array of fighter jets targeting military and security targets in Iran. U.S. officials are also telling our team that the U.S. is firing Tomahawk missiles from Navy ships into Iran as part of this operation. Now, overnight, President Trump said major combat operations have begun, adding that the U.S. military action there is massive and ongoing. The Office of Israel's defense minister is calling the strikes preemptive, declaring a special state of emergency, with Israel saying that Iran's retaliation has already begun with a barrage of missiles heading toward Israel. President Trump delivered these remarks just hours ago. Here is a portion of what he said.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries.
The president also saying tonight, you must lay down your weapons or face certain death. Let's go live to Tel Aviv, Israel, and to our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, in Tel Aviv. Richard, what is the latest that you're hearing from there right now?
Has begun. There have been reports of air raid sirens and interceptions here in Israel. Also reports of explosions in Bahrain. There was a small nation right next to Saudi Arabia telling people that the siren has been sounded. Citizens and residents are urged to remain calm and head to the nearest safe place. In Qatar, where the U.S. also has a major military presence, a major military base, there has also been a shelter-in-place order issued by the U.S. Embassy. So a lot of preparations underway. Some Iranian response already happening, according to Iranian officials. Iranian media talking about 30 missiles fired at Israel just so far. We have not seen any impacts here in Tel Aviv. We have not heard the missile defense systems, although there have been reports of people hearing explosions in other parts of this country. So this operation does seem to be expanding. Iran now is beginning its response. President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu have both called on the people of Iran to take advantage of this moment and to rise up. President Trump saying specifically that Iranians should now stay off the streets, stay in their homes, wait for a moment when the Iranian regime is weaker, and then go out and try and topple the regime. The Iranian government apparently responding to that. The Iranian Interior Ministry is saying that capacities, and I'm quoting, capacities have been put in place to maintain calm, and the Iranian Interior Ministry telling citizens to stay calm and to only listen to official sources of information.
Richard, when we last spoke to you several minutes ago now, you had said that the early reports were that only senior officials had been targeted in this attack. Is that still the case? And what do we know about casualties?
We don't know about casualties. Iranian state media are talking about many residential buildings that have been attacked as well. So according to Iranian media, numerous cities have been attacked in Iran, including Tehran, Isfahan, Qom, Hark, and Kermanshah. They've talked about attacks on attacks near the presidential palace in Tehran, near the Supreme Leader's compound in Tehran. The Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is believed to be in hiding somewhere in the country. Iranians say that the president is safe and was unharmed by the attacks near the compound. So clearly, leadership targets or leaders have been targeted. But when you listen to what President Trump says, he describes this as a wide, broad campaign designed to destroy the Iranian Navy, to destroy its missile program, and to neuter Iranian proxies, which are not just located inside Iran, but spread all across the region.
Yes, he said we will ensure they will never have a nuclear weapon. Richard Engel, stay safe and stay close if you could.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.